Our opening words are from Rabindranath Tagore. God, again and again through the ages, you have sent messengers to this pitiless world. They have said, forgive everyone, love one another, rid your hearts of evil. They are revered and remembered, yet still in these dark days, we turn them away with hollow greetings from outside the doors of our houses. And meanwhile, I see secretive hatred murdering the helpless under the cover of night, and justice weeping silently and furtively at power misused. No hope of redress. I see young men working themselves into a frenzy, in agony, dashing their heads against stone to no avail. My voice is choked today. I have no music in my flute. Black, moonless night has imprisoned my world, plunged it into nightmare. And this is why, with tears in my eyes, I ask those who have poisoned your air, those who have extinguished your light, can it be that you have forgiven them? Can it be that you love them?
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Congregation of Westchester and our online worship service. My name is Chris Hyson, and I am a lay leader in the congregation. Our minister, Reverend Dan Schatz, is on leave this week. As such, we are pleased to welcome Reverend Edith A to lead our service this morning. Reverend Edith is a Unitarian Universalist minister who believes part of her calling is to hold sacred space with everyone who has ever felt unwelcome, unloved, or outcast in her beloved hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. She believes all people are her people, the streets are her parish, and everywhere we are standing on holy ground. Reverend Love is the founder of the Church of Resistance, a UU congregation that meets in a Cathedral of Trees public park. I especially want to welcome any visitors to the online service this morning. We hope we will have a chance to get acquainted. You can say hello in the comments. You can go to ucwc.org or send us an email if you'd like more information about the congregation or if you'd like to be in touch directly. We hope that you will also join us for our online social hour. The link and password are in connections, and we'll put them in the comments for the service and on the screen at the end of the service. Unitarian Universalism holds that great good comes from wide diversity. So whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your heritage, and from wherever your beliefs spring, we are pleased that you are here with us. Let us walk a while together. As a reminder, please check connections and our online calendar for announcements and information on how to access our various online events. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Gordon B. McKeeman. Let there be light. Let it shine in dark places, in moments of pain, in times of grief, in the darkness of hatred, violence, oppression, where there is discouragement and despair. Wherever darkness is to be put to flight, let there be light. Please join us now at home for our opening hymn, Gather the Spirit.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy. once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Please join me now at home as I read the unison affirmation. We gather, aspiring to be a thriving, caring, and welcoming community that supports each person's spiritual journey, embraces diversity, challenges us to live responsibly, and is a catalyst for a just and compassionate world. We are very grateful for all the gifts that our members and friends continue to offer to this congregation. Each month on the third Sunday, we share our offering with an organization in the community. This month, we are sharing the plate with the Charles A. Melton Arts and Education Center. The Melton Center was founded in 1918 by Dr. Leslie Pinckney Hill, then president of Cheney State Teachers College, as a center to meet the needs of marginalized and disenfranchised citizens. In August 2004, it was renamed in tribute to the former director, Charles A. Melton, a major figure in the civil rights struggle and a mentor to minority youth. Throughout its history, it has remained true to its mission to provide educational, recreational, cultural, and civic services to the community. Programs have spanned a range from after-school academic help for school-age children to advice on interviewing for and obtaining employment, and sponsorship of sports leagues. A true gathering place for the community, it has hosted many banquets, as well as community and civic activities. While it still serves minority youth, programming has expanded to encompass the entire Westchester community and beyond. With the assistance of grant money, the Melton Center is planning to build a 51-unit affordable housing complex on 2.5 unoccupied acres to the east of the building. This summer, the center has pursued an outdoor beautification project that has resulted in a replanted flower bed and garden, as well as a refurnished patio area. Like so many other organizations, however, the center has had to suspend most of its activities. With less money coming in, it is particularly in need of donations. Ken Winston, the director of the Melton Center, was regretful that he was unable to join us for the service today, but he conveyed his gratitude for our support over the years and this difficult year as well. Anything you can contribute to support this historically important community treasure will be appreciated. As we give today, I hope we can be as generous as we are able within our means. While we are online, you can donate on the web, by text, by app, or by mailing in a good old-fashioned check. Or you can add something to the pledge that you pay each month. Thank you for your generosity in every form. We will now receive the morning offering. For these gifts and for all that we give to our many communities, we are truly grateful. I now invite you to join in at home for our next hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every craving kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith. And our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning. I am pleased to be a guest in your virtual pulpit today. Thank you for inviting me. My topic is one that is not often shared in sermons, the issue known as domestic violence, or more accurately, intimate partner violence, because abuse within a romantic relationship doesn't only happen in the home. So to start off with, we're all steeped, our culture is steeped in models of relationships. If we think of movie stars from back in the day, such as Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, or musicians like Ike and Tina Turner, those are clearly not healthy models. But if we consider television stars like Lucy and Ricky from I Love Lucy, or more currently Beth and Randall from This Is Us, these are much more healthy models. So what makes a relationship healthy or unhealthy? In the case of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, or Rihanna and Chris, we see news headlines covering the violence between them. In the show This Is Us, we see Beth and Randall working on their issues together in a respectful way, addressing conflict. We see deep caring and devotion as a team. I would suggest that things like communication, insight into self, acceptance of differences, mutuality, ability to regulate one's emotions, and skill in addressing conflict are all factors in the health of a romantic partnership. But what does the unhealthy relationship pattern look like? According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, intimate partner violence is a serious preventable health problem that affects millions of Americans. The term intimate partner violence describes physical violence, sexual violence, stalking, or psychological harm by a current or former partner or spouse. And I can tell you this happens in relationships of any sexual orientation or gender identity, LGBTQ plus individuals are at equal, if not higher, risk. So what does it look like? The signs of abuse, according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, may include things like extreme jealousy, possessiveness, unpredictability and a bad temper, cruelty to animals, verbal abuse, controlling behavior, forced sex or disregard for a partner's unwillingness to have sex, sabotage of birth control method, blaming the victim, sabotage or obstruction of the survivor's ability to work or attend school, controlling finances, abuse of other family members, accusations towards the victim, controlling what the victim wears, demeaning the victim, and finally, harassment or embarrassment or humiliation of the victim in front of others or at their place of work. And let's make note here, sometimes when violence happens between people in a partnership, it's actually consensual. That's not abuse. BDSM stands for bondage, discipline, sadomasochism, and sadism and masochism. And that's where adults in full charge of their faculties consent willingly to activities that, if consent was absent, would be violence. So context is vital in this situation. Intimate partner violence can happen in homes, cars, public places, and yes, sometimes in church. Given the statistics that 1 in 4 women are being abused in their lifetimes, as well as other genders being abused, it is entirely possible that someone in your congregation or someone that you know is being abused and is afraid to seek help and does not know where to turn. Maybe it's someone in your family. Maybe it's you. Maybe you are a survivor. Maybe you are an abuser. What are our options? Those of us who care about this, who are not involved, what can we do? Well, first of all, let's begin with centering the person experiencing harm. If you suspect abuse, the first step I as a minister would take is to get the person alone. Ask them what's going on. Hey, I noticed this. Can you tell me more about what's going on with you and your partner? Are you okay? And they might not open up at first. Sometimes you might come in a little sideways and just say, tell me about your life right now. You can kind of ease into the conversation. And if they tell you, yes, I'm being abused, I'm scared, I don't know where to turn. Well, number one, in many states, there is mandated reporting. So you might have to also tell them, as your minister, as your teacher, as your social worker, I'm obligated to report this information. I am so sorry. This is my obligation to protect you and anyone else vulnerable being impacted by this. And make yourself aware. All of us should already be educated on what resources are available in our community. Figure out what help means where you live, because you never know when the opportunity is going to present itself to be that person who casts a lifeline to help that other person. And support the survivor of abuse to the best of your ability. If they choose to leave, and yes, leaving is a choice, it isn't always easy to leave. Think about how deeply connected people are to their partners, how deeply connected you are to your partner. This person might have kids, a house, years of marriage. All of that has to be untangled. They might be financially dependent or be of the opinion that divorce isn't an option. They might not have a good job or access to health care, child care, transportation. Unfortunately, our social safety net isn't really a net. It has a lot of holes in it. Sometimes people look at their options and choose to stay until they can gather enough resources to be able to realistically leave. And leaving is dangerous. At the time someone is trying to exit an intimate partner violence situation, this is when their lives are most at risk. Homicides increase sharply during a breakup. And I'm so sorry to overwhelm you, but one more statistic. According to a study published in the American Journal of Public Health, the mere existence of a gun in the home increases the risk of death by 500%. And so, given that, we are also in a pandemic, which increases isolation for many people. And sadly, yes, reports of intimate partner violence are up worldwide. So I've just thrown a lot at you, and I apologize. I know it's a lot. What might healing look like? Can people overcome abuse? Well, it almost always comes from trauma in people's childhoods, on both sides of the fence here. Abused people abuse people, and people who were abused also can become people who are abused. And it doesn't heal magically on its own. It takes people doing a lot of hard work, therapy, counseling, sometimes jail time, in order to come to the realization that there is a better way, that there is a way out, there is life beyond abuse. So we've outlined the problem. What is our role as Unitarian Universalists with regard to intimate partner violence? If we, as Unitarian Universalists, believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, if we believe in justice, equity, and compassion for all, we should want for everyone to be able to live free of abuse of any kind. Where is hope in all of this? A colleague this week posted a little joke sort of thing on Facebook, how she wants to be more like Jesus. And she listed 6 things. Number 1, hang out with sinners. Number 2, upset religious people. Number 3, tell stories that make us think. 4, choose unpopular friends. 5, be kind, loving, and merciful. And number 6, take naps on boats. And what my colleague shared might be humorous and make us laugh, but there's a serious point underneath that. In thinking about intimate partner violence, we can remember the example that Jesus set for us. Whether you believe Jesus was a real person or not, whether you believe Jesus was divine or not, or actually existed or not. The things that 2,000 years later, most people agree that the idea of Jesus stood for then and for many represents today, those ideas still ring true. I believe that we as Unitarian Universalists want everyone to be accepted, loved, protected, and defended. That is everyone's birthright. That is what we all deserve. We deserve to be loved and happy and thriving and safe. And we should all be fighting for everyone to have a life of peace and joy and justice. That is the responsibility of us as Unitarian Universalists. If we believe in our faith, if we live up to what we say we believe, this is what we stand for. This is how we do it. I'll finish with a quote from Maya Angelou, who overcame terrible abuse as a child. She says this: "You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, encountering may be the very experience which creates the vitality and the power to endure." Amen, and blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Love. Now is the time in our service when we share our joys and sorrows. Please join in at home with the first verse of Winds Be Still.
Winds be still, storm clouds clouds pass and silence come. Peace grace this time with harmony. Fly, bird of hope, and shine, light of love, and in calm let all find tranquility.
I am Eliane Khan. I am a member of the pastoral care team. I am also the pastoral care contact person for August. Today, we have one card. A member requests prayers and sustaining wishes for a colleague whose husband is slowly succumbing to cancer. And as always, we light one candle for those unspoken joys, sorrows, and concerns.
Light shine in, illuminate our inward view, help us to see with clarity. Shine bright and true, so we may join our songs in new sounds that become full symphony.
Our closing words today are by Archbishop Timothy Olufsoy from Nigeria. It is titled In God's Hands. In your journeys to and fro, God direct you. In your happiness and pleasure, God bless you. In care, anxiety, or trouble, God sustain you. In peril and in danger, God protect you.
Thank